Hey guys, we'll be doing a commentary video for the particular build that I took from Rob the Man from the Discord from Tengu Rumble. So he took second place with this list, and I decided to try to play the deck and see how far I can go. This is going to be the net decking series where I pretty much get to do this on my free time. All right, so he rolls a 2, and then I roll a 3. So rolling a 3 or higher, I'm going to be able to start off the game here. Looks like I draw pretty poorly. I do have a Dark Arm in my hand, a Malicious, and a Max C. Knowing that, I'm going to set the Dust Shoot and the Warning here so that I can see his hand at least. So on the standby phase, I'm going to activate the Dust Shoot here. I contemplate getting the Lone Fire Blossom, but I do have the Warning set in case he wants to do that. So what I'm going to do here is choose the Spirit Reaper because I do have a Dark Hole in my hand on top of that. So with the Dark Hole in my hand, I'll be able to clear his Thunder King Ryle if he does summon it. If he goes Lone Fire effect, I'm going to use the Max C so I can at least get another draw in. So the Malicious here is a pretty dead draw here until I'm able to find a way out of it. I could have used the warning on the Thunder King Ryle, but I chose not to do so. I draw into a Mirror Force, and instead of using the Dark Hole, I'm going to save my Mirror Force for the Thunder King Ryle and save my Dark Hole for the other plays that he does. So in this case, he's going to go the Lone Fire effect. I'm going to drop the Maxi here, and I'm going to draw a card, and then he's going to bring out the Glow Bulb in defense mode here. So that's a pretty good start in order to dodge the Maxi. So now I draw into a Spore. I have the option here of normal summoning the Spore. I activate the Allure Darkness here, and I'm going to banish Dark Arm. Now I have the famous D-Draw Destiny Hero Malicious combo. Very classic move that was pretty much the pinnacle play of a Teledead format. So here I draw into two new cards. I have the ability here to use the Malicious ability to banish it, and then special summon in level 7 with the normal summon Glow Bulb. So that's what I do here. Special summon the Malicious here. He's going to chain the Max Seed to the Malicious effect. I'm going to go straight into summon the Bulb or the Spore, and then go into battle phase, or I can just attack over the face-up monster. Knowing that 400 damage is not too much, or 100 damage is not too much, I'm going to choose to set the Glow Bulb. So I'm pretty much playing the whole Master Duels game where we're playing the Maxi challenge here, or not taking the Maxi challenge. So he's going to normal summon the Tour Guide here. I have the ability here to activate the warning, but if I activate the warning here, then he's going to have a Dark in the graveyard, and then BLS is going to come down. So I think I let him take the Tour Guide, or I use the Veiler here. Let's see what I do. No, I do warning here. So that's pretty much a mistake here. Because if he does have the BLS here, it's going to be a huge punish for me. But I do have a Veiler in the event that he does do that, and a Dark Hole to follow up. So he's gonna use the effective Glow Bulb, and I do make the misplay here to well, I guess it wasn't so much of a misplay, because if I didn't warning the Tour Guide, then he uses Glow Bulb. He goes into Leviathan Dragon, attacks over my Malicious anyways, and I'm trying to preserve my Malicious, but I do forget that he does have the Mind Control, but that's always going to activate anyways because even if I didn't warn you or not, he's going to activate the Mind Control, take my Malicious, and then he's going to use Glow Bulb effect to Synchro Summon. So now he has the option here to Synchro Summon to level 7. Most likely it's going to be a Black Rose Dragon coming down here to finish off my board, or he can use the effect of Black Rose to switch my monster to attack position and attack. So it looks like he's opting to go for the Ancient Fairy Dragon here, and he's going to attack over my Glow Bulb. So I think he wants to keep his Lone Fire in the graveyard because he wants to use the Spore effect later on if he does have it. So I draw into a Fool's Burial, one of the best cards in my deck. However, I already used Malicious here, so I'm going to have to find a way to use this Fool's Burial really well. Most likely it's going to be a Dandelion that I'm going to send here. First off, I'm going to bait off the Maxi. I'm going to end on a Sangan in defense position here. And I do have the option here to pass, to see if I have a trap card. I don't. Most likely I'm just going to pass here and then let him take another move. So the Maxi here is going to be a 1-for-1, so he's not getting a real +1. He's going to use the Ancient Fairy Dragon to special summon, and I'm going to use the Veiler to negate the Kai's here. Sangan's going to activate here. He's going to get a Debris Dragon, I think? No, Veiler. So because he has to give up his battle phase because of the Ancient Fairy Dragon, he's going to shift the Ancient Fairy Dragon to defense position, and then he's going to pass it over to me. So I have here the option here to Dark Hole, and the Dark Hole would be a 1-for-2 because the Sangan does float. So I think I contemplate doing this move. This plays pretty hard into Starlight Road, but I'm pretty sure plants don't play Starlight Road in the main deck. So I'm going to use the Dark Hole here. So the Sangan here is going to trigger. I'm going to search for a... what do I want to search for here? I could search for a lone fire, but I don't feel like that's useful because I have a spore in my hand. So the best choice here is probably going to be debris dragon or something, because it's the best normal summon that I can do. Because I do have like lone fires in the graveyard, I believe, or dandelion. No, I get the lone fire. Okay, so I summon the lone fire here. I think huh. I'm wondering why I activated the lone fire here. Because I did. Oh, I saw foolish. Oh, okay, so I was trying to pair this off with foolish, so that I can get a dandelion. Um, but yeah, so he warnings here. So now I'm looking through foolishing. I am setting the dandelion. So now I'm gonna get 2 tokens here. We don't have tokens. He offers to give me tokens, but I am pretty stubborn and not to use other people's stuff. So now I'm gonna use the effective glow bulb, and I'm gonna synchro summon into Formula Synchron. So was I able to use the glow bulb before? No, I didn't use it before. All I did was set it. So the Formula Synchron here is going to draw me a card. I draw it into a spell card, I believe. No, it's Greffer. So I have the option here to go into the Spore play where I banish a Lone Fire for Spore. And then I can go into the TG Hyper Librarian. So looks like we're just clarifying here whether we use our Glow Bulb or not. But I don't have a Spore, I just realized. Okay. So then I'm stuck with passing on doing nothing. He passes doing nothing. And so, yeah, so I take my turn again. I could summon the Greffer here, but I'm summoning the Tour Guide here to activate his effect. He's going to Veiler here. This allows me to go into a synchro play. I can go to a level 5 and then find a way to attack directly. If I do attack directly, it's going to be pretty bad if I walk into a Gorse here. So, yeah. So I think what I did is I made the Teacher Hybrid Barbarian, and I don't attack with him because I don't want to walk into a Gorse. Because this feels a lot like a Gorse play because he just passed without doing anything. So I just pass here. If he doesn't do anything, I'm going to normal summon the Spore the next turn. But I can't really synchro summon with anything, so because I already have the formula in my graveyard. This deck doesn't play Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is a really good card in this particular build because I could just modulate the graveyard. But unfortunately, Rob doesn't play it in his main deck. Maybe I would play it in the future. Not too sure. So I draw into a 1-for-1, which is a really good top deck. So I declare an attack for 2400, and without summoning a monster, he's gonna Veiler my Debris Dragon because I did draw into it. And then now I'm kind of stuck here. I could do. There's no level 5 Synchro Dragon in this format. So I think what I do here is I 1-for-1. No, he end phase. Okay, so he end phase scapegoats. If he does synchro summon here, into a formula, I'm gonna be able to draw quite a few number of cards here. So he clogs his board, so he chooses to go for the 1-for-1 play instead of summoning debris. This makes it so that he has to commit harder into the TG Hyper Librarian. So I'm gonna draw a card here. Formula Synchron is an optional effect, so my effect is gonna be Chain Link 1. So he's gonna draw a card first, and then I'm gonna draw a card. All right. So if he synchro summons again here, this is what I really like about TG Hyper Librarian, especially in the mirror match, is that they have to try to find a way to deal with him without synchro summoning him. And if they do synchro summon, I'm gonna get a lot of advantage. So yeah. So here he can go into a level 5 synchro like a Caster, but Caster can't run over the TG Hyper Librarian. So he's gonna have to make a TG Hyper Librarian with the remaining tokens here, and then crash into my TG Hyper Librarian. So he uses a Spore effect here, and now he's gonna synchro summon into a level 6, I believe. 7, okay. So because Black Rose is an optional effect, he's not gonna use the effect actually to blow up the field. He's gonna shift my token into attack position using the Black Rose effect. I draw a card off the Black Rose summon because he didn't blow up the field. Now he's gonna declare an attack, 24 direct basically, to my foolish burial. I mean my token. All right, he's gonna attack over the token. I'm gonna take 24, and now I'm at 17. Okay, so now I think we look at the Black Rose to see if we can shift if we can make TG Hyper Librarian to 0 attack, but that's not true. It has to be a defense position monster. So I'm gonna draw for turn here. I draw into a warning that's dead now because I only have 1700 life points. So now I can either enter battle, but there's no point entering battle just yet because the Formula Synchron can't really synchro summon into anything on the board here. So I think what I do here is with the Debris Dragon, and some of the Greffer here, I do have a lot of plays I can still do here. With the Spore, 1-for-1, yep. And then I can make a Veiler here, banish for Spore. So I'm gonna banish my Lone Fire, and here I can go into a Scrap Dragon and draw a card on top of that. So I think that's what I do here. Because if I had made Stardust here, it didn't feel right to me. Because even though he didn't use Dark Hole, he only has 3,600 life points, and I think I can game him here. So yeah, so I banished the Lone Fire, so summon the Spore, Synchro Summon into Scrap. I draw into a Mind Control, and now I'm gonna Mind Control the formula, pop the formula, and pop the Black Rose, and that allows me to kill him. So this is over like 3,600 by a lot. Um, Even if I didn't draw into the Mind Control, I think I would have been game still because Greffer runs over the Formula Synchron, and then the TG Hyper Librarian and the Scrap Dragon attacks directly. Assuming he doesn't have Gorse, but he scoops, so he does have Gorse. So games 2 and 3, I'm thinking about side decking. I'm thinking about putting in more Maxis because Maxi is really good into the mirror match because Tengu Plan is one of those decks that's special summon a lot, especially since you play Reborn Tengu in the deck. And Reborn Tengu, if you could activate Maxi on your attack declaration on a Tengu, you could potentially draw 2 extra cards. So I like that play better than doing it on your opponent's turn because you can draw 2 spells and traps that can stop your opponent. So it looks like I set it in the Snowman Eaters, as well as the Blackhorn Heavens and the Solemn Judgment. I take out a Book of Moon. I don't know if I agree with that now that I'm looking at it. I take out the Heavy Storm. That's surprising. Okay. Yeah, the deck is really tight on space, so I find it really hard to side deck. But I'm really surprised that I took out this Heavy Storm. I don't know what I was thinking that time. In this matchup, I would probably take out if I don't know if Plasma's correct in the main deck. Plasma like negates on-field effects, and so I feel like it's not really good unless I can make the Plasma really large. Because they're gonna make a level 5 synchro, right? And most level 5 synchros run over Plasma. So yeah. So I think I should have sided out the Plasma. So I draw my combo here. He's gonna summon the Thunder King Ryo. I do have the Gores here, so I'm gonna pause here. I do have the Gores in my hand, and I do have the option here just to pass. And if he attacks directly with the Thunder King Ryo, most likely the Gores is gonna come down unscathed, because he would have to normal summon a Lone Fire Blossom into a Glow Bulb, and that doesn't. None of the Synchro monsters that are level 5 can run over Gores. So I contemplate just doing nothing. Because if I give him the option to not to attack me next turn, then pretty much it's gonna be a stalemate where nothing's happening, and then he can draw into a warning. So in my head, I'm like, well, if he draws into a warning, my Gorse is kind of dead the next turn if he doesn't declare an attack, and I had to draw an out to the Thunder King Rao. So the out being the Snowmaner, so I didn't want to really gamble that. So what I do instead here is I 1-for-1 right away. As it is kind of like the best play because it doesn't use up my normal summon. So I'm a 1-for-1, the Malicious here, get the Glow Bulb, and then I'm going to force the Thunder King Ryo to trigger here because even though I'm wasting 2 cards for this combo, it really isn't 2 cards because the Glow Bulb is kind of free. So it's really just a 1-for-1. So I make it to the Ancient Fairy Dragon because I want to preserve my Black Rose. And on top of that, the Ancient Fairy Dragon is a light type. So it being a light type means that I can banish for BLS in the future turns. So I special summon the Ancient Fairy Dragon here, and then I'm putting in attack mode so that it forces the Thunder King Ryo to answer it, and then he negates it. So now my BLS can come down if I did have it. Instead, I'm gonna go into either a set Sangan or a normal summon Lone Fire play. So seeing that he has the Thunder King Ryo already used up, his way of getting the Thunder King Ryo back is Monster Reborn or having a second copy of it. But this is the side deck match now. This is game 2 and 3. So if I set the Sangan, it feels really incorrect. Whereas if I summon the Lone Fire Blossom, it also feels incorrect because all you're getting really is a Spore or a Dandelion. So I summon a Sangan here, and I choose not to declare an attack because if I declare an attack with Sangan, actually I do declare an attack because I do have a Gores to back this up. So even if he does drop the Gores here, the Gores does back up the Sangan here. So yeah, so the attack goes directly, and there was no Gores drop. So now I pass a turnover because I have no other play. So now he has the ability here to summon a Thunder King Ryo somehow. to run over my Sangan. And here I make the Veiler. This seems like a neg 1 here, but since my Sangan can trade with the tour guide and then get a search, it's actually a 1-for-1. So it's not a one. It's not a neg. So he has to find a way to like stop the Sangan from attacking me, or I can just summon the Lone Fire here, and then activate the effect, and then go into Spore. So he could have dropped the Maxi, so I'm kind of logically deducing he doesn't have a Maxi in hand. I Synchro Summon to an Armory Arm here, and then the Sangan is going to get me a search. I'm going to search for the Maxi here, because Maxi is searchable with Sangan. That's why Sangan is really good in this format, especially now. The Sangan wasn't brought up by tour guide, so it is actually able to be Synchro Summoned. So just to dodge the confusion, I use a Spore effect to banish the Lone Fire, and he crows it. And I'm just going to go straight into battle phase and attack over the tour guide. So he activates the Dark Hole, summons the Tengu, and then he has the Force to deal my Gores. Okay, so at this point in time, I don't think I have a Glow Bulb in the graveyard, do I? Yeah, I do. So the Glow Bulb can be used with the tuner here. So I'm going to use the Glow Bulb effect, and if he drops the Maxi here, the third Maxi, then it's going to be pretty good for him. So I make either a Stardust or Scrap Dragon. Since he already used Dark Hole, it's pretty much the best move here is to get Scrap Dragon. And even if he does draw the Mind Control, I do have the Veiler to negate the Scrap Dragon if he does steal my Scrap Dragon. So I'm going to activate the Maxi on the attack declaration. I'm going to run over the Tengu here, and then I'm going to draw a card. So now he actually drew the third copy of Tengu, so my Maxi is actually just a 1-for-1 as opposed to a 2-for-1. So now I'm going to set a card. I think it was a... What did I set? It was a warning? No, it was a Dust Shoot. So I Dust Shoot him after on the standby phase. So this is a pretty tricky card, situation. I chose to go for the Maxi for the Trap Dust Shoot. I don't know if that's correct. I know I can deal with Dandelion. Dandelion is not really a threat on its own. So I actually just chose the Maxi. If I chose the Tengu, in my mind, I was like, but he can just Avarice everything and then have all the Tengus. But in my head, I was like, well, if he Maxis me on my following turn, which is more likely, and if he does a power play, then it's going to feel pretty bad. So I think I chose the Maxi here in this situation as opposed to getting the Tengu. But I think the correct choice was to choose the Tengu as opposed to the Maxi, because he only has 5,100 life points, and he has to actually have some sort of defense to stop all this. So let's see what happens. I know he has Dandelion, and he has a Tengu in hand, and 2 new cards. So 4 cards to his hand, pretty much circumventing the Trap Dust Shoot here. And then now, so if he sets a Dandelion, most likely I'm just going to go in battle phase and attack over it. There's no way he sets the Tengu here because Tengu doesn't activate if it's destroyed face down. So I just declare an attack. I'm not going to waste a Scrap Dragon effect on it. So I set the Snowman Eater and I set another back row. Let's see what he does here. He does have 1 token left. If he goes into a Caius here, I do have the Veiler to stop this. I think I used the Veiler here on the debris. Yeah. So now he can't Synchro Summon to a level 5 unless he somehow finds a way to steal my face down. Mind Control would really help here because he can flip my Snowman Eater and then he can flip my Snowman Eater and then pop my Scrap Dragon and then Synchro Summon to level 5. Lucky for me, he doesn't have the Mind Control. He declares an attack with Debris, and instead of destroying the Debris Dragon, I destroy the token. Because the token's in defense position, and I want to do damage. And he already took 900 off the Debris Dragon attack, so this feels pretty good for me. So I just declared an attack with Scrap Dragon, and attack for 27. Yep. So that's game. I do have the Solemn Judgment anyways, in case he was able to push through somehow. But yeah, I didn't draw a BLS this game, so it didn't really matter. Alright, so that was a 2-0 victory against Tengu Plants, so on to the next one.